Hi there. Have you guys ever gotten the chance to take out a hard copy book to read, whether it be your moment of relax, whether it be a free time, or beginning of your day, or ending of your day? Just to take your mind off things, either be problems or a bad day at work, anything really. Hi, my name is Diego, and I'm going to be talking about the effectiveness of the hard copies compared to ebooks. Books have been around for a long time. After the passing of oral tradition, which was how Native Americans and Greeks and other people of the ancient world would describe any phenomenon, anything unknown, they would try to explain their way of life. Books, when they came into the picture, became the new source of knowledge for anybody studying a specific subject, whether it be scholars, students, other experts. I know I have experience in reading hard copy books as well as ebooks. Now, I would prefer a hard copy compared to an ebook. Why is that? Because hard copy tend to have a bond, they're available, and they're therapeutic. So let's start off with first. Hard copies form a bond. What I mean by that is it's a bond between the reader and the story that is being presented. So that bond, you feel a form of connection between the character or characters of the story and yourself. For example, I recall when I first started reading books, one of my favorite genres was in the Star Wars, an action. When I first started reading Star Wars, I was always able to use my imagination and put myself in the place of the protagonist. So it was is as I was reading, I was able to feel, see, and even experience what the protagonist might have been going through during that moment. Also, according to Liz Beery, a journalist of The Guardian, in a research that was done, it stated 16 to 24-year-olds who are known as super connected generation, obsessed with snapping selfies or downloading the latest mobile apps. So it comes to a surprise to learn that 62% of them prefer printed books to ebooks. That shows that they might understand that there is, you could say, a connection or a bond, as I was explaining it, of having a hard copy to an electronic one, an ebook. Okay, so now that we see why a hard copy could create a bond between the reader and the story, let's move on to being available. Hard copy books are instantly available. So let's say your computer is down where you have your ebooks. You could have a bookshelf of hard copy books or even go to the library and check out one. I know I have my own bookshelf, even though my typical genre is religion, but I still have able to access them and read them. If whatever reason my computer is down, I could take a hard copy and begin to read. Well, according to Cynthia L. Gregory, who is a librarian 3 and also the head of electronic resources for the College of Mount St. Joseph in Cincinnati, Ohio, stated, a student stated that with a printed book, he or she was able to highlight and take notes to show that he or she was processing information. Okay, so we could show that by doing that, you are able to actually pay attention to the story. Now, so now I know I have my Bible, you could say my Catholic Bible, And I also have, highlighted, words or phrases that caught my attention, or even notes whenever I had to present at the Bible study if I was asked to. So I had my notes ready. So it does show that I was able to process the information when I needed to. Also, look at a different example. According to Betty Heenanton, a research with the Bureau of Educational Research and Service, and J. Steele Alexander, a coordinator of the Reading and Language Arts at the University of Tennessee, stated attitude that a child would have in a 2 week period would be going to the library and finishing a book that they would check out. So it does help going to the physical place, getting a book, reading it, and moving on to other books. Compared to ebooks, maybe not so much. Majority of the time it would work if our internet's working or if we have Wi-Fi. But if you have hard copy, I would say it's more instantly available. Okay, so now we see how available hard copy books are. Now we're going to touch into the final part or the final point. Hard copy books are therapeutic. Okay, what do I mean by that? Well, one can actually take a book to read and they're able to feel a sensation of relax. So you have a hard, like I mentioned in the beginning, you can have a hard day at work. You could have had a bad argument with your significant other or parents, and simply by taking a book to read, it actually helps you calm down. In fact, by the same that I mentioned earlier, the same researchers, Betty Heenanton, the researcher at the Bureau of Educational Research and Service, and J. Steele Alexander, the coordinator of the Reading and Language Arts at the University of Tennessee, in their same research, they stated certain behaviors were repeated that are mentioned: being happy while reading, desiring to read out loud, spending free time reading, and etc. So these students were actually feeling emotion when they had the chance to read a book, whether it be with themselves, a group of people, as mentioned by the researchers. So there is some form of therapy when you're reading a book, a hard copy book compared to an electronic one. And then also, according to Luke Mitchell of the agency Voxburner, which they researched questions about buying and using contacts with 1,420 young adults, it stated qualitative comments about preferring physical books included things like, I collect, I like the smell, and I want a full bookshelves. So with a lot of this research that was going on, people were actually saying comments like that, and I can relate. So they stated, I collect. To tell you the truth, I collect books till this day. You, if you knew me in my personal life, you could ask my parents. You can ask my formation superiors that I was part of, or even you could even ask if you were to know my girlfriend. You could even ask her. I'm a collector of books, so I can relate. I like the smell. So be able to use one of my senses to be able to read a book is form like whoa, like okay, it's a good thing that I have a book that I can hold in my hands and be able to read it compared to just being on my phone. And then also I want a full bookshelf. I could say I have a semi full bookshelf. So so we have seen the effectiveness of hard copy books compared to ebooks. So first we looked at how a book could form a bond between the reader and the story. Next, we learned of how available hard copy books are. And then finally, we were able to see how therapeutic hard hard copy books are to individually to children who whoever needs them. They can be a sense of therapy. Wait, but one might say, wait, Diego, some of these things that you stated, you could look at it in ebooks as well. And I would say, okay, I agree with that. Good point. But like as I stated, I have experience and still go through reading hard copy books and ebooks. Yet I personally would say I tend to pay attention more to a hard copy book than an ebook. Thank you for listening.